Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. For today's video, we are jumping right into our nail design. So I just put on some peel off base coat and applied these nail tips with some base coat instead of gel glue because they are just going to be a temporary set. So these are going to be our base colors for a few of our nails. So I'm going to apply one coat of each of these and then cure for 60 seconds in between each coat. So here is what we have so far. These colors are super pretty together. I would actually just wear these all by themselves, honestly, these little nude jelly pink polishes. But I'm really excited for this polish. I've been wanting to use this polish for so long now, and I probably will do multiple sets using this. I just think it's such a pretty color, especially for the springtime. So this is the Cat Eye polish by Canny. I don't even know if I'm saying that. Am I saying that right? I don't know. Canny? I don't know. But so it's just this really super pretty color, and it has like blue and green in it. I just love this color so much, you guys. So I'm going to apply 2 coats of this, and then we can get into all of our nail. So for this nail, I wanted to do that water effect on top of milky white polish. And I'm like, even though my thumb isn't blue like water would be, I still feel like the effect of it is super pretty. So I'm going to be taking this milky white polish and I'm going to put a coat of this on top of my thumb, and I'm not going to cure this yet. So don't cure the milky white polish if you're going to do this effect. You want to put the top coat on top of the uncured white polish and then cure this for about 60 seconds. So for my French tip nails, I did apply a coat of matte top coat, and then once it was cured, I just wiped off any stickiness with some alcohol. And here I'm just taking this acrylic brush that I had. I couldn't find any other fluffy brush. I don't know what happened to the one that I normally use when I use this method. So I'm just taking this acrylic brush because it's fluffy, and I'm just kind of working in the lighter green, and I'm gonna bounce back and forth between the light green and the dark green. But I'm pretty much focusing the dark green on the tip of the nail, so it kind of gives like an ombre effect. So I'm just gonna kind of work this in until I'm kind of satisfied with the way it looks, and then I'm going to do the same thing to my pinky nail. So for our aurora nail, I am going to be using an airbrush. So here I am just taking some acetone, and then I'm going to put a few drops of that pink gel polish in there to make the mixture for the airbrush. And I'm going to mix this really well. I want to make sure that there's no like gel polish sticking at the bottom of it. Sorry guys, I don't know. I mean, you would think an earthquake just happened. I don't know why it just shook crazy like that. But so I'm just putting a few drops of this in, and I'm going to mix this really, really well just to make sure again that there's nothing sticking to the bottom. And then I always like to test it out, like test the color out before actually applying it to my nail. So once I pour it into the little airbrush container, I just like to take a little paper towel and just make sure that it's the color that I like, and then I'll apply it to my nail because, you know, I don't want to have to keep mixing, or if I need to add more pink or just anything. I'd rather do that than having it already applied to my nail, even though you can still like wipe it off your nail if you haven't cured it yet. But I'd rather just make sure I like the color and do a little test spray before I actually apply it. So now that our solution is ready for the airbrush, I just back up a little bit from the nail. Like I try not to get too close to it. And then I just go in a really light-handed circular motion. And then I just kind of work it until I'm satisfied with the color and like the way that it looks. But I actually really love using the airbrush. I think it's a really good tool to have on hand and to get familiar with, because there's so many like really cool looks you can make with the airbrush. So I definitely want to get better at it. But for this in particular, for the aurora, I just like to kind of build the color up in the middle of the nail and then really light-handedly go into a circular motion around the middle. And then I just clean up my nail with some acetone and then cure my nail for about 60 seconds. Getting into our 3D art, I'm just going to be using this solid building gel, and this one came with cute little silicone forms if you want to make any little decorations for your nails. So I definitely want to try that out. Maybe I'll make a little short on how to use those, but for now I'm just going to take some of this and roll little balls to kind of pre-make my petals, so I'll have everything ready and I don't have to keep on doing the step over and over again. But I did have to take my glove off because it was sticking to my glove, and I've had this one for quite some time. So if you guys know any like building gels that aren't as sticky, definitely drop them in the comments, because I just think like 3D art is so fun to make, and get into, and it'd be nice to have some that aren't like as sticky to work with. But like here, rolling it in my fingers, it's not as sticky, but I did notice too, like when I would go to pick them up off of like my little nail plate, that it would stick to that too. So I don't know if I would recommend this. I don't ever want to like recommend anything to you guys that I probably wouldn't rebuy, or that I question. Not that it's a bad building gel, but I just know that there's some out there that like aren't like as sticky, or maybe it's just like what I was sticking it on wasn't like a good surface for it. But when it came to like sculpting on the nail, like that was fine. Like everything was fine. It was just like when it was on certain surfaces, it just stuck a lot. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a user error or what, but it's like I said, it's not a bad building gel. It's just I've seen like building gels that like people can roll it up on their glove and it's not sticking at all. So I would definitely try other ones. Like I said, I don't ever want to recommend anything to you guys that I'm kind of like about. But for this set, it got the job done, and I will probably still end up using this. I'm not going to trash it or anything, but I definitely like to see what other ones I can get my hands on, but it got the job done for sure. So I'm going to continue to build these petals up, and then I'm going to cure for 60 seconds between each petal. So I've been really wanting to try this little 3D snake that I've been seeing all over my Pinterest. So I'm just taking some of this building gel and rolling it on here. And like right here, it's not sticky. So I'm thinking like, is it just like depending on the surface on how sticky it is? But anyway, so I'm just rolling this out and then I'm going to wrap this around my nail. And I do end up clipping the pieces that are underneath my nail off because I'm like, I don't know how I would function with those pieces underneath my nail. So I'm just wrapping this, and you'll see here that I did put a little bit too much on there, but I end up taking off a little bit right there. And I will actually just continue to form this until it looks like a little snake and then cure it for about 60 seconds. So now that our snake is all painted, I'm just taking a little bit of the building gel and setting it on top of the snake. I'm not trying to form it around the snake. I'm just putting it on top because we're going to add some texture to it. And I saw a lot of people doing this, so this is definitely not something that I made up. I just thought it was super cool to make like a textured effect of the snake. So I'm just flattening it out a little bit on top of the snake, and then I'm just going to take this little tool and kind of roll it on top of the snake. And I'm going to continue to do this to each of the parts of the snake and then cure for 60 seconds. Anything that's kind of hanging over the snake, I just kind of tuck in really neatly. That way the snake still has like its shape to it. I wanted to add some water drops to my nails, so here I am just applying some top coat, and I'm going to cure this top coat for 60 seconds. And for my water drops, I'll be applying those with some rhinestone glue, and then I'll cure that for another 60 seconds. And here we have our final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like there was a lot of different techniques and different things going on, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And I will leave everything that I used in the description box, of course. Let me know if you guys are a fan of 3D art. Should we do more 3D art? But yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support as always, and I will see you in the next one.